This is the 1985 Volkswagen Vanagon Westfalia. I've washed and waxed the outside. The paint actually looks pretty good, just a few scratches. Some minor rust on the other side of it. I replaced these turn signal housings. They were cracked and water had gotten in there and rusted out the bulb holders. Also replaced those, rewired them. I took the two grills off, sanded those down and painted them black again. I removed all the old 20-something-year-old purple window tint from all the windows. The tail lights, none of them worked. The brake lights didn't work. A mouse had chewed the wiring up. I went through the wiring harness and reconnected everything, put new bulbs in, got all of the lights working. I also changed the tires. It had some car tires on here that just were not safe to be driving on. They were not the proper load range, so I put some new tires on. I also put new rubber brake hoses all the way around, just as a safety precaution. I pressure washed underneath. It all came out really nice and clean. Obviously this van hasn't been in a bunch of salty roads up north. It's nice and clean underneath. I also replaced all of the fuel vapor lines and replaced the fuel tank. It just had probably 10-year-old gummed up fuel sitting inside of it. Tried to clean it, but it just didn't work out too well, so I replaced it. Also put new fuel lines and new fuel filter all the way back to the engine. On the engine, I replaced all the high pressure fuel injector lines. They're a fire hazard, known for popping and spraying fuel all over the exhaust and catching fire. Replaced all of those. I took the throttle body apart and cleaned it. Took the airflow meter, cleaned the door on it, replaced the air filter. Replaced a lot of small vacuum hoses, just dry rot. I replaced the water pump, kind of hard to see down in there, and a couple of small coolant hoses. I flushed the coolant system out. It was missing the idle stabilizer box right here. I installed that. Changed the oil, all the fluids in the engine, transmission. Installed a new battery. Right in here is all the wiring where the mice had chewed through all the taillight wiring. I fixed all that. Replaced this coolant bleeder valve and hose connection. It had a leak right here on the side. It was cracked and running down. And miscellaneous other small coolant hoses. I did have all the interior totally stripped out of the van. I just put the back seat and the flooring and the front carpet and seats back in. Really didn't have anywhere to store them in my garage, so I just put them back in the van. All the rest of the cabinets and all are in storage. I removed the air conditioner that was up here. I did all that just to clean the van and also so I could get to all the seam rust. As you can see all down through here. Right there you can actually see daylight through the body panel. And a big gaping hole right there. All that was caused from this window seal on the outside. You can see under here, yeah, you can see daylight through there. It's a rust hole, and it was just running down into here. Normally, this seam rust is caused by the gaskets going bad on the camper package connections, but these seem to be intact and someone had caulked around them, so they actually were not leaking. It's all just from the window seal. So I'll be cutting that out and replacing the rocker panel hopefully pretty soon. The interior came out really clean. All this was shampooed and it looks really good to me. The pop top had a lot of mold on it. I bleached it. It came out pretty clean. All the tint looks really good after a good cleaning. A few pinholes I'll have to patch. That's no big deal. I installed new bulbs in the dash to light it up, a new resistor to get the fuel and water temperature gauge working, also a new headlight switch so the headlights would work. Did not have a key for it, so I replaced the ignition lock with a new one after I busted the old one off, and of course a new key came with that. Now I'm going to start it up. And it runs pretty good. Has a small exhaust leak, which is the clapping noise you're hearing, and I'll have to fix that. Other than that, it runs really good and it drives really good.